The Master Mev. Chapter 2. An Explanation.
Mevs are magic-eating vampires. There are two types, Master and Fledgling. However, sometimes Master Mevs are simply called Mevs because they are the ones other creatures need to concern themselves with far more than the Fledglings, and will be the main topic of this book. A Master Mev is a strong, fast Pegasus bestowed power from the land with the intention of storing magic that they eat in a reserve. They also manage magic, ideally, though not necessarily toward balance, with the aid of the fledglings in their pack. Magic will grow and develop with time in the reserve. Both types of Mevs are immune to magic drainage. Masters must eat unicorn magic at least once a week, or they will go berserk for a full night. This can be managed with a different volunteer every week, and, while difficult, is also not impossible thanks to the fact that any victim will recover their magic in a week's time, so can give the impression of some kind of passing sickness to those less informed on the matter. However, it is far better for any community where a master dwells that the master form a pack of 1 to 6 fledglings, and the first fledgling in the pack must be a unicorn. With a pack, the master can share hosting the reserve. The continual feeding every week strengthens the pack. 7 is the ideal number for a full pack, and that number includes the master among them. A fledgling is created by having the master eat the magic from the pony to become a fledgling, but then return that magic by clasping their wings around the horn, or temple if a Pegasus or Earth pony is chosen, allowing the fledgling to form fangs. With that, magic is exchanged instead of consumed, but the process is a special magic of its own that still fills the reserve, allowing Mev packs and pony communities to live in harmony. Not any pony can become a fledgling. The bond between master and fledgling should be that of friends, though other bonds will do, such as an acquaintance, rival, or even enemy. The stronger the existing bond, the better. So that is why friendship is recommended. An acquaintance could easily fall prey to being a regular victim. Upon first exchange, a new bond forms specific to the pack, where the fledgling becomes servant to the master. The master is obligated to take care of the fledgling as part of her pack in return for their service. Fledgling exchanges can be referred to as flex changes or flex change when meaning singular, for short. After the first of these exchanges, fledglings no longer need the wing tips to help give them fangs. The sharpened teeth form on their own at the right time during a given exchange. Fledglings should also eat magic once a week through the exchange with their master, but if they miss a dose, they will only get weaker until the next meal instead of going berserk, and the weakness only happens at night. Unlike the master, who can eat every day if they wish, fledglings should stick to just the one weekly dose with the exception of a given task, where they help the master. Flex changes should be done at night. The earlier, the better, so long as the sun is fully set. Fledglings cannot eat magic from other creatures like the master can, though they can absorb magic from inanimate objects, like relics, to channel that back to the master. While masters can both eat and use magic, they keep their magic usage low. Anything a master could do as a regular Pegasus before transformation should still be done that way in order to help maintain the reserve. Exceptions can be made for things important to the pack, such as when it is first being formed, if the master wishes to summon a fledgling for help on a task, or learning to use magic in the first place. Masters are immune to most magic being used on or against them as well. They cannot be telekinetically contained, blasted, teleported, or any number of things a unicorn or any other magic-wielding creature might try. Masters can still eat food they could before their transformation. However, it will lack flavor until their first meal of magic. Additionally, masters can and do sleep, but it is far less than what most ponies go through, so they seem to be awake all the time. They can move about day and night, but these times affect them in different ways. During both day and night, masters have a great deal of control over their physical appearance. Their vampire form includes bat-like wings, red eyes, and fangs. This appearance comes more naturally to them at night, but it is hardly a constant. Each one of these features can revert with ease to the master's preference, and interestingly, the preferences seem to have a natural scale of their own. Masters rarely use their bat-like wings for actual flight, even though they are fully capable, and instead use them for show more than anything. These wings are the largest and most obvious visual cue to communicate to other ponies that masters really and truly are vampires, or at least a different creature than a normal Pegasus. Regardless, the bat-like wings are actually on display the least amount of time, compared to other vampire features. The red eyes are next in line, middle in size of this set of features, and serve as the main activation point for a master's magic. Such magic can include consumed or exchanged magic in the reserve, or the natural Mev magic used to enchant onlookers. Unlike the wings, this feature tends to be active and visible based on practical use rather than for show. Finally, there are the fangs, the smallest of these physically visible vampire features. Masters like to wear their fangs at night. It has nothing to do with when they might need or want to use them, or for any kind of visual cue, but rather a natural inclination to subtly assert their vampire status to themselves. The fangs are helpfully tucked away behind their muzzle most of the time. Additionally, masters can transform their fangs in length and number, though, like the bat wings, that action is more for show. This magic, used to control their appearance, is part of Mev magic and has no impact on the reserve. If not already obvious, masters prefer looking like a regular Pegasus most of the time, except for fangs at night. During the day, Master Mevs only eat magic from living things with consent from their meals before feeding, and their hunger is not as strong as it is at night. They find it easier to match the expected behavior of other ponies and act as they did before transforming. At night they are more hungry and will eat without consent from their meals, if they are in a berserk state, or even desperately hoping to prevent a berserk the next night. They also might do this on their first night without understanding their new form, and wishing to satisfy their hunger as their body and mind are still adjusting. While consent doesn't need to be considered at night the way it does during the day, it usually is, especially if the master is well fed through a full pack. Master Mevs relish in their power and can even sense and feed off of fear. They are not inherently evil creatures, but their nighttime behavior can certainly leave that impression. They do like being vampires after all. This seemingly evil nature is far more style than substance, except during a berserk. It includes, and is by no means limited to, bombastic laughter, devilish grins, hisses, snarls, and wide-eyed thrills. It even has a name, Nocturnivlair, a combination of the words nocturnal, evil, and flare, respectively. Berserk states are extremely dangerous and should be avoided as much as possible. During them, masters are not invincible, but they are very close. Magic triggering the berserk specifically aids the master in escape from containment to ensure the master eats the required magic. A berserk master still must eat at least one meal of magic from a living creature during the night their berserk is active, preferably unicorn, to prevent a berserk the following night. However, they will not stop after one meal. They will continue to seek food from living creatures, mostly unicorns, until a genuine sunrise. Masters can recognize and speak with fledglings while berserk. However, there is little else to be done. They are not interested in an exchange of magic, but consumption of it, and, upon recognizing the fledgling as a member of the pack, will consider the fledgling not a meal and seek food elsewhere. Because masters deal with managing a reserve and magic in general, they also do business with other magical creatures. As such, there is much power in the use of the word master itself when dealing with this type of Mev. The title holds value for the pack, so the fledglings use it on instinct, unless directed otherwise. Other creatures with titles and knowledge will also address the master by title. It tells the master they are respected, eases tension, and once a master has formed a full pack, will even give outsider creatures a very faint feel of power that they enjoy, though barely recognize. Masters do not expect or need to be addressed by title every time you speak with them. However, it is generally a good practice. They are more accommodating to business when respected, and will use respectful titles in response. To outsiders. Mevs should be feared, but not avoided if you find yourself unexpectedly confronted with one, especially the master type. Chances are you will never recognize a fledgling for what they are, unless they make it known, and even then, they are no doubt performing a task at the master's request. Adults should never flee from a master Mev. It is seen as an invitation to attack. Masters do enjoy themselves a game of cat and mouse, however short-lived it may be. If you encounter a hungry master Mev, provided they are not berserk, first call them by their title with a polite tone of voice and bow. Speak slowly and with good enunciation. Include their name if you know it. This act will calm them down and help them think clearly in conversation. Then, see if you are willing to give up your magic for a week, or make arrangements with another magical creature to do so with their informed consent. Masters will not hesitate to bite you if they sense deception. If the master is not hungry, you have nothing to worry about, though, again, addressing them by title will only benefit you both. Regardless, they are probably approaching you for information to aid them in their work, so it is best to answer them honestly. Fulfill any request within your ability, and then move on with your day or night once dismissed. In the event you do encounter a berserk master Mev and are conscious before being bit, make eye contact to minimize any sense of pain. Their vampire eyes will be visible with their enchantment activated. You will actually enjoy being bit, and only regret the price. You can even try to use the word master during this encounter for an extra thrill. Unlike their usual state, the word will not calm the master Mev down. They do, however, like it, and so will you. Regardless of this unexpected effect, do not encourage a berserk state. They are for an emergency only. Miscellaneous notes. Mev packs prefer discretion when possible. Master Mevs will not bite children, even when berserk.